Welcome, everyone, to the Doc Jacques live radio show. You have now entered, once again, the cosmic radio receptors of KCIW LP 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. Thank you for tuning into this week's fabulous program on today's important day.
National Plant a Flower Day, right?
Maybe, but more likely what happened today. It's an anniversary.
Oh, what happened today? 4 years ago, I walked into Dr. GiGi's office at the hospital clinic at Sutter in Crescent City, and you were my first meeting as a doctor, and you were wearing a COVID mask. And I came in there for symptoms like measles, which you're going to be talking about when we get there. But it wasn't around my face, so the marks weren't there.
Move on.
Today is also National Working Moms Day, right? You're the one that's supposed to say that. All right, okay. I'm greetings. She's just giving me the look like.
Okay, so yes, 4 years ago today, we met.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, darling.
Oh, love you. I've never looked back. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. GiGi, and my co-host is, as always, Jacques Kepner. More or less here, brainwise too. How are you today, Jacques?
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Doc and Jacques Radio Variety Show. I want to mention that you are hearing this live show on KCIW 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. That said, this same show will be rebroadcast in exactly 1 week from now, each and every Wednesday, in fact, on KZZH 96.7 FM in Eureka, Humboldt, and that's at 8 o'clock in the morning, so they're getting up early.
Right.
And then a few hours later, the same show will be played at 1 p.m. on my old alma mater, Fugland, or KFUG 101.1 FM in Crescent City, California. So now you know. All right. Dr. GiGi and I, in 4 years, we're grown here, right? It's starting to happen. We got your coast covered.
Yeah.
Lastly, a big shout out to our sound engineers, Tom Bozak and Ray Simon, and Michael Gorse, if he's back there, and Ozzy. I know Ozzy was coming in today. All right. My brilliant German, bilingual, physician, patent-holding scientist, and professor who I met 4 years ago.
To the day.
What do you have for us on today's Medical Marvels or on your weekly health segment of the show? MD GiGi.
All right. Today, I thought we're going to talk about measles.
I told you 4 years ago I came in with measles.
Yeah.
I had red spots, but they weren't on my face, but another important part. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I put a sock in before. Let's put a sock in again.
I'm sorry.
Measles, the real measles, are in the news lately.
Yep.
Because we've had, especially down in Texas, we've had an outbreak.
Yes.
So I thought measles would be an important thing to talk about. Right?
And if it's in Texas, it's coming here too.
Right, possibly. Now, measles is one of the most contagious infectious diseases out there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is it a virus or a bacteria?
It's the measles virus is called a rubeola RNA virus.
Okay.
It is in the family where the RSV virus is in as well, paramyxovirus.
Whoa.
They're in the similar group or in the same family.
Measles is been around a long time, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. It's been ever since we take history of diseases.
What's
it is a childhood disease.
Yeah.
And once you get infected, the incubation time is about 10 days, meaning once you get the virus and you get sick, it takes about 10 days, and you break out with high fever and the 3 C's. So this is a medical school question. A child comes in, has really high fever, and the 3 C's, which is conjunctivitis, red eyes, cough.
Wait a minute, conjunctivitis is red eye?
Yeah, you have the watery red sclera, the white of your eyes, watery and red.
Red eye head.
Cough and coryza.
And what?
Coryza. So to come up with the 3 C's, conjunctivitis, cough, and coryza, that's how you can remember it. But coryza is a stuffy nose. So I guess this 3 C's wouldn't make sense. 2 C's and stuffy nose wouldn't be as memorable. So coryza is stuffy nose. So if you have a very high fever, conjunctivitis, cough, and a stuffy nose, and you start having a rash starting from the hairline, going down to the end of the fingertips and to the feet, and then exiting the same way after several days, maybe a week, then that was measles.
Can adults get measles?
Yes.
They can.
They can. Now, usually we get vaccinated. A vaccine was developed in 1963 or so. And then in 1971, it was combined with mumps, measles, and rubella, which is the German measles. So
Ooh,
MMR.
the German measles, because, the Germans have many germs. Many. You get it?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
And rubella is what does that mean? It's red?
It's a red, yeah. It gives you a rash, a red. Rubella is a red rash. Rubeola is the little rash dots. So it's a tiny
and if it's very contagious and it's a virus, so we all know what that ball with all those spikes coming out of it from the coronavirus, right? We all seen that image of what it looks like at the molecular level. So does measles look like a ball with all these spikes coming out?
No, it looks different. It has actually. You're supposed to tell me what you're asking so I can look it up, but I happen to know this one.
Okay.
It is an RNA virus, which is it's covered in a protein envelope. So it does not have it has some little tiny spikes, but you can't see it like the coronavirus has these big old spikes coming out.
Yeah, but it's very contagious. But you're saying measles is even more.
Oh, measles is super contagious. So it has a lot of, I see what you mean. It has these little, they're called.
Receptor hands.
Yes, they're little antigens. They're the epitomes where we make antibodies to. They have lots of structures that where they get entranced. With help of it can get entrance to our body. So that's why it's so.
Do people die from measles still?
Yeah, people die from it. Don't let me forget to talk about the vaccine.
Okay.
So people die from it. And as a matter of fact, right now, most currently, there are about 30 million kids dying a year, and 1 million of that worldwide is attributed to the measles.
Wait a minute. 1 million kids are dying worldwide
from
in
the measles.
This world from the measles, and where there's not a serious. Why don't we hear big people screaming up and down? We've got to eradicate this.
Right, and we try to have it eradicated, and that's what we came up with, that vaccine. So in the beginning, in 72 or 71, there was a vaccine, and it cut the death rate where in the States of the children by half. That does not mean it cut the death rate of measles death. Overall, for anybody of the kids that died, cut in half because we did not have the measles.
So 30 million kids die in the world every year.
That is
whatever
currently, yes, from anything.
From childhood diseases of some sort.
Yeah, and so 1 million would be the measles.
Wow.
Worldwide. Now, in the first, those are developing countries too. Now, in the first world, we have the vaccines, and there's not a lot of deaths going because not a lot of people get very sick because they were vaccinated. However, now we have a new outbreak, especially most likely in people that have not been vaccinated.
The anti-vaxxers all across the board.
Well, for whatever reasons. For whatever reasons, they didn't do it. It is a live vaccine.
It's a live vaccine?
Yeah, it's a live vaccine, meaning you take so-called attenuated viruses, meaning deadened or making inactivated vaccines. So the body thinks you're getting the real vaccine, the real measles virus, but you actually don't. They cannot make more measles viruses in your body, but the body doesn't know that. And so the response to it is very long-lasting. It's really, we always said it's lifelong. But they have seen that now even vaccinated people that were vaccinated a long, long, long time ago, that they had some loss of immunity. So they're now saying get revaccinated if your titer is low. Having a low titer means that you don't have any more antibodies to the vaccine or to a measles virus.
A low titer? Did you say low tide? Like
titer.
Titer.
Yeah.
Titer.
Titer.
Okay, now I've learned something. Okay, measles. Wow.
So the live vaccine, there's some other live vaccine. This is why I wanted to talk about it, because children, babies, cannot be vaccinated with a live vaccine. They don't have the immunity ready yet till they're at least 1 year old.
Weird.
So if you're pregnant, your baby inside is less than a year old, so you cannot get the virus. You cannot get the measles sickness because it's very dangerous for the unborn child. The earlier after conception, the mother will have that measles disease if she wasn't vaccinated or if her immunity was waning.
Okay.
Then the baby can die, or it can have deformities or mental.
Not good. Hey,
Or it is the highest cause of congenital, meaning born with deafness.
whoa. Really? It causes deafness?
Yeah.
Hey, what is the one vaccine that we used to always get? I'm a product of the late 50s. You're from the 60s. Or pardon me, you're from the 80s. But that one mark on my arm, that big, I got a vaccine.
Polio?
Was that polio, the big one?
Yeah.
Yeah. They gave
Yeah, the shot.
on my arm.
Yep.
Everybody got it on their arm except Ray Simon. He got it right in the middle of his forehead. I don't know. That's what that scar is. Okay, very interesting.
Yeah,
I
right?
thought when you first were going to talk about measles, why don't we talk about something like cannabinoids and marijuana receptors because of our guest today? But I'm glad you brought up measles. Very interesting.
Oh.
Okay, are you almost done?
I am pretty much done. Do you have any questions?
I thank you for illuminating what measles are all about. Are there many varieties of measles?
Yeah, so measles really just means red spots, more or less. That's what people think. Measles, if you look it up, it says high fever with a rash. So there are 6, 7, 8 different measles, which are not necessarily caused by the measles virus. They're just called measles because you have a rash with it.
Not a fun thing to get either, right? Because you're not feeling good.
Yeah, I guess, you have a high fever, so no, you're not
that's not a good
feeling good.
All right, you got it there, folks, from German measles expert, Dr. GiGi, our physician at, have you treated many people with measles? No.
No, you don't really treat them because it's one of many viruses that you can't treat. You hardly have any virus diseases that you can treat now. Now, of course, we can treat Paxlovid for the COVID-19 virus. Then there is, you can treat the flu, influenza.
Right.
But the treatment is not, it's not like it is a cure in the aftermath, but really it is more about not spreading the virus.
I wonder if there were anti-measles vaxxers back in the day.
Yes, it was thought there was the disinformation about it causing autism, and that's what the first, actually in the year of 2000, they thought they had eradicated the measles because everybody
In the United States.
Yeah, in the United States. So because everybody pretty much was vaccinated, but then there was the information coming out that it caused autism, which certainly has been debunked many times over. But, if you hear something bad, you just hang on. Whoa, something bad. You remember that. And so there were little waves of people not wanting to vaccinate their children, being afraid that it causes autism.
All right, Dr. GiGi, you know best on this one. And now we know a lot more about measles. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Folks, as the fog settles back in over our coastal border here in Oregon and Northern California, it reveals more than a geographic boundary. It unveils a shared journey of two states that have walked parallel paths in redefining our relationship with a plant once regulated or once relegated to the shadows. And it helped reshape the very word, and here's the word, marijuana. Cannabis is now openly grown and flourishing in our Emerald Triangle, spanning from NorCal into Southern Oregon, representing not just an industry, but a philosophy about our relationship with the natural world. California and Oregon have become living laboratories where we experiment with new possibilities and where we question old certainties. Our guests today have watched this unfolding story from a very unique vantage point as they run a dispensary here in Brookings, a marijuana dispensary. Through their eyes, we are going to catch up with what's the latest in the world of marijuana, its trends and fads, where it has been, where it is today, and of course, thoughts about where it's going tomorrow. As we stand at this crossroad of tradition and innovation, I'm honored to welcome Richard and Bubba from world-famous Top Shelf Cannabis on the Doc and Jacques Show. Welcome, gentlemen.
Yes,
How's it
welcome.
going?
All right, good to be
Right.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for
Thank you for
listening.
coming.
For listening in for Doc's Measles. Doc, have you done? We've done a cannabinoid. You did a cannabinoid one time,
I
right?
did, yeah.
Redo it.
Well, a whole show.
a whole.
Yeah.
Just a cannabinoid, and that's it.
No.
Right? Because he knows, right? Now he knows that there's more.
That
I thought it was
Richard
just
Collins.
a marijuana.
Yeah, Richard Collins and Bubba Couch.
All right, welcome.
So let's start with you. Whoever wants to start first. Where were you born and raised?
Originally born and raised in Anchorage, Alaska, and then spent most of my high school years in Mendocino County. So I kind of got a little bit of both worlds there.
Right on. And you are?
Richard Collins, yeah.
Got it. And the you.
And Bubba, how long have you lived here?
I've been in Brookings for 6 years now.
And you were born and raised where?
I was born and raised in Alabama and did all my high school in Oklahoma.
Cool.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, is Alabama state marijuana legalized?
Absolutely not.
How about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma has medical now.
Okay. All right.
Now, what are your titles and positions, Richard? First,
I run the store. I'm the store manager.
Which is
the top shelf.
Top shelf.
World famous
Yes,
top
world famous Top Shelf Cannabis.
right.
Right. And you, Bubba?
I'm the intake manager there. I do all the inventory stuff.
Get that stuff. It's just kind of catching me. I'm the intake.
That's right. That's right. More way than
It's got
once.
a right
Oh,
name
my
for a reason.
How long has Top Shelf Cannabis been in business?
We've been around for almost 7 years. Started in 2017.
And
Here in Brookings, or?
In here in Brookings, yep, in the
Okay.
same spot.
All right.
and that address is like right across the street from us.
Absolutely. 704 Chetco Avenue, right across the street from where we are now.
Yeah, which is we're right next to we're right below Black Trumpet and Wild Pig and Oxen Free. That's where the KCIW studios are. So you're stumbling distance across the
Absolutely.
So tell us about the unique name, but also the world famous part of it.
So, well, with Top Shelf, we really just wanted to emphasize that we wanted to kind of be on top of the game and be able to have some really good flower and emphasize that with the name. Originally, it started out as Top Shelf, but our very first location was in Washington, in Bellingham. And we actually hold the record for the very first sale in Washington.
What?
And so it was a local
Whoa.
newspaper company there that actually dubbed us world famous, and it's actually stuck ever since.
Wow.
Wow. So
not
there
just
is
made
there
up.
is another world famous Top Shelf dispensary in Washington.
So, well, unfortunately, that one has been since sold and is no longer there. So it's kind
No
of like
longer world famous.
Yeah, no longer world famous. No,
But you have another one up near Astoria, up in
absolutely in Gerhardt, Oregon. correct.
Okay.
No.
And how long has marijuana been legal in
How long?
Oregon now? Since 20?
2014, they legalized it. Then in 2015, it went October 1st, they did the retail stores.
Okay. So I remember going that whole thing. That's 2011 and 2013, where it was coming up and it was going to be voted on. I think Colorado and Washington already just legalized theirs in 2010 or something, right?
Yep, exactly.
All right, bringing it back in here to Brookings, Oregon, where we are, and Crescent City for that matter. But I know I found out pre-show that you guys are, you really can't cross over the state. You can't bring in California bud and products, and they're not taking anything from Oregon. So it's distinct.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those stipulations because of the fact that it's still under federal guidelines and federally illegal. We're not able to cross state lines with it. It's even on the unfortunate part where when we have vendors or products that we want to get that are even in Medford, those guys actually have to drive 6 hours out of their way just because they can't use 199 because they dip into
Right.
California. So it's unfortunate because we have stuff they'd love to see and we would love to have to be able to see some of their stuff, but it's kind of, we got that brick wall, an invisible brick wall, if you
Right.
will.
Shh, don't tell anybody. They're closing down the
bug shed.
The bug shed.
Oh, yeah.
The inspection stations. You know, the one down here at the border right south of us has been closed now for 2 and 3 weeks.
Oh, geez.
Closed down. They're just cutting that's one of the cuts here in the federal thing. Brookings has a lot of dispensaries. Do you know how many competitors, or do you call them competitors, or just Either one. How about you, Bubba? Yeah.
We have 9 different dispensaries in Brookings and Harbor between the two.
Wow. That's quite a lot.
It's kind of a staggering number for the population. We have one of the highest per population number of dispensaries in the state.
Wow. It would be like, I'm from a small town. We got 13 McDonald's. I mean, kind of, right? There's a lot of marijuana dispensaries in this town.
Yeah, the funny thing is when I first moved here, I had somebody tell me that the motto of this town is that we were a drinking town with a fishing problem. And that was before it was legal. We had one liquor store and a bunch of fishermen, and now we have 9 dispensaries and still one liquor store. So I think times have shifted a little bit, you know. Right. Definitely wouldn't want to use the word competitor, though. We're more of a camaraderie type thing. Every dispensary has a different niche, carries different things.
Right.
I myself love going into different places just to kind of see what kind of different styles they have, or what they like personally, or what they like to focus on and stuff. So it's exciting to actually have such a small town with such a great diversity, really.
So what is your niche? You said that everybody has their little niche.
We, like me and Bubba's one of my smartest guys on the team, and I'm lucky to have him. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the knowledge and the aspect of everything. Mm-hmm. The ratios of not just THC, of how the different cannabinoids can work together, that real ailing and healing ointment properties of the cannabinoids. There's so much more to it, and that's one of the things that we like to focus on, is really bringing that to light. My favorite thing is seeing people that never wanted to try it, or kind of were really sketchy on it before, that now they're willing to kind of open up to it and at least explore it, and we have options that can give them to help out.
All right, Bubba, you were mentioning something about CBGs pre-show. What's a CB? I've heard of CBDs, THCs. A CBG is what?
CBG, cannabigerol. It's the precursor cannabinoid that THC and CBD actually form from. When the trichomes are still clear on the plant, that's all not THC, but CBG.
Okay, the trichomes are the little crystals that you see on the buds
on
the flower?
Little mushroom things. When you look at them with the microscope, they kind of look like a mushroom head. They're real sticky.
So
wow,
if you take those, then your body has to separate them out. Still, it's going through the liver, and you have the cannabinoids and the THC, or?
Yeah. So, it depends on if you ingest it by swallowing it, or if you smoke it. It's completely activated by heat when you smoke it.
Oh, is that why you smoke it? Because of the heat? I mean, is that?
Yeah, it gets rid of that little extra acid molecule, the extra carbon molecule on the THCA.
Oh, you got her interested. She's going to be looking. She's going to be
chemistry
here to come into the map tonight. Look what I found out about the chemistry of this stuff. Do you sell other products at your store? I mean, what else? I mean, there used to be the head shops. We'd call them head shops, right? Mm-hmm. We grew up, and they would sell the glass pipes and things like that, and rolling papers. So is that all part of this marijuana, hemp, cannabis?
Yeah, we sell things like that: hemp wraps, rolling papers, pipes, bongs, swag. We actually do we do our own T-shirts and hoodies and hats and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Right. I see Richard's wearing the. And what do you got? Bubba's got it on. He's got a shirt on.
Yes. We actually started doing that last year. We do all of our own pressing and do all of our own shirts and hats and stuff. So.
Right on. How about hemp? I got a shout out to Paul. What's our friend? Our Chris Nelson and Sherry, Dr. Sherry, who are in Missouri, and they're big hemp proponents.
Mm-hmm.
We have.
What do you got?
Yeah, we have some CBD extract stuff, like in the form of edibles and tinctures that were derived from hemp. But as far as flower goes, we don't really carry too much of that. There are some places that do.
You can't have hemp growing anywhere near the THC marijuana, right?
You can. I mean, there's a lot of really good cross strains that, some of the times when we do carry stuff, there will be some that'll have like percentages of both THC and CBD when you're crossing the strains. The pure CBD and pure hemp sometimes is not as popular as I'd like to see. Me and him use it quite frequently, but to have it in a dispensary is just not something that a lot of people purchase a lot. So unfortunately, it has a shelf life.
So when you get the pipes or whatever they're called, bongs or whatever they're called, do you go to a catalog and say, I want this, or are there shows that you go to? All the
Both,
above?
actually, yes. Me personally, I am a hound dog for all kinds of stuff, and I am the guy that'll find myself on the internet exchanges.
Yeah.
I love, me and him will go on road trips to different events and stuff just so we could see the new
fun,
stuff
yeah.
that's coming out. I love keeping my ear to the grindstone and trying new things all the time.
Now you have to get your marijuana from Oregon, right?
Correct,
So
yes.
where do you have like one major pool where you go, or just again shopping?
It's all over the state, really. There's a couple or a few. There's a handful that are locally here in Brookings. There's a few good indoor ones that we do business with. Shout out to Coastal Cultivation, Wikichiba.
Right on.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Okay. Are they indoor grows, outdoor grows?
Indoor grows, those two.
Because of the weather we have, is indoor growing more?
It's more prevalent here because of all the fog.
Right. We kind of fog.
We're in the banana belt. What weather do they need? Plants.
It's just too much moisture here in the fall. At the end when the buds get big and dense, all the moisture starts to cause them to mold a lot. Like there's a couple outdoor, like up the Tillamook and like Carbondale Road, that are out of the fog line and they do okay.
Really? So there is some fairly local grows that's all indoor. Oh, you're saying those are outdoor.
Mostly all of them are going to be indoor, yeah.
There's a couple outdoor, yeah.
What is the growth season on an indoor?
In 3 months, pretty much.
What, from seedling?
Clones usually.
Most of the stuff from clone. If you're going from seed, you're talking maybe, depending on how long you want it to veg, you're looking at about 4 to 5 months or so.
Wow.
And then you can cut it down, or do you harvest the?
So basically, you're going to harvest the whole plant unless you want to keep it a mother. Now, when you keep it in veg state and it's not flowering at all, you can keep it in that state for almost an infinite amount of time, and you can take cuttings off of it. And that's what a lot of people will do.
Is that what a clone is?
Yeah.
Correct,
Just
yeah.
cloning it up
And
the
it's
same-
literally essentially is just cutting a top off and putting it in some solution, setting it in a little root cube and keeping it humid until it starts growing its own roots.
And then, so how do you harvest? Do you take the leaves? You can also do the leaves.
Not so much until it's been harvested. So once you get it to the flowering state,
Yeah.
then you're switching the light cycle, and that'll put it into the flower state. From then, it takes an average of 8 to 10 weeks for it to fully mature and harvest. And at that point, then you're chopping the plant down and you're getting everything off of it, trimming the leaves off.
So from a clone to harvest, a 3-month turnaround.
About 3 months.
A little over, yeah.
That is amazing.
And do you have to do fertilizing or not really?
Is it all organic or?
There's all organic. There's hydroponic that you can still do organic solutions of nutrients. There's all different mediums.
Wow, what a trip. And this is THC producing or CBD, or you told us CBG.
Correct.
Okay, what is CBD again? Tell us what that.
CBD is basically just the all-around and anti-inflammation.
Right.
It's
super good.
It really is. It helps with inflammation. It helps with anxiety. It helps with calmingness. The only kind of like a little bit of a science drop, the one thing that makes CBD different from the other cannabinoids is that it doesn't communicate with the brain receptors the same exact way as THC does. So you'll hear some people from time to time say that CBD works better with THC. What's happening is because they're basically two oils that are binding together, so it's working as a pathway. So CBD on its own is more of an indirect method. Then you get into like CBG, like he was talking about, those actually communicate very similar to THC, so it gets more deeper and it's more effective and things like
You're
that.
telling you this because not too terribly long ago, I took some non-THC juice. It tasted like cough medicine.
Oh, okay.
And it's called Delta 9. And
Yeah.
it said,
yeah.
And I got so high, I didn't know where I was for a day. I looked, what happened there? I mean,
That
I
was
shocked.
THC, Delta 9 THC.
Oh,
But you got it from somebody who got it from like
yeah,
a
just
normal,
bought it at a smoke shop or something.
yeah, it was,
Marijuana. And
Could have been Delta 8.
it was,
oh man, it was good and it was bad. It was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, what is this?
no, it was like 3%, less than 3% Delta 9 or something
Okay.
like that.
It was a hemp product then, yeah.
A hemp product. So I one time, we're going to take a break here, real soon. Years ago, I walked through a hemp field in Missouri, a wild hemp field, and I was taking the buds and just eating it. I got so high from that. And somebody later told me, they must probably just poison it. You ate the poison, whatever. Yeah. Okay, folks, we are at that. Let me find out where we are here. We're at that midway break time here on the Doc and Jacques Live radio show, proudly broadcasting KCIW 100.7 FM. And lovely coastal Brookings, Oregon. The list of major sponsors for this community radio station are Advanced Airlines, flying in and out of Crescent City to Oakland and LA 7 days a week. Marie and Brett Curtis here, and our neighbors in Brookings at Remax Coast and Country Realty. Dr. John Kirk's Port-au-Prince Craft Brewery, now in 2 locations in Crescent City. Michelle Bupert, our own vibrant local Curry County Chamber of Commerce leader. Everybody's friend, Jim Doc Bellardi and his Crescent Land Title and Escrow Company. Dan and Phyllis Schmidt and their constant friendly support. The new reimagined Crescent City Harbor Art Gallery in Crescent City, anchored in the harbor right next to the boats. Our region's only bowling center, Tsunami Lanes on 101 in Midtown Crescent City. Nick and Lisa Rail, big shout out to you, bringing to our region the new $50 million event center to be known as PPA, or Partnership for the Performing Arts, and possibly one day host to marijuana event shows.
Absolutely.
Maybe, you never know.
Yes.
A couple more. The medical team of Dr. J, Dr. Pollack, and Rochita Patel at Chetco Medical and Aesthetics in Harbor. And lastly, my dear co-host, Dr. GiGi Reed, MD, and yours truly, Jacques Kepner, on behalf of KCIW, thanks all to you. All right, where were we? We were going to get back to questions here with
this is really
Richard
cool.
Collins and Bubba Couch here in the studio representing world famous Top Shelf Cannabis. We're finding out all about what's going on with cannabis.
Yeah, so what is the most potent marijuana you carry in THC percentage?
Right now, I think we have a 38% flower. We've had, one time in the 40s. Pretty.
So how do you test that? I mean, you have a little flower bud and say, okay, well, heavy, or, how do you do
It's all in the mind.
It all goes to a lab and gets tested with specific tools. I'm not exactly sure topography, how they do it.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting.
Back in the day, we would buy lids. That was what they called them back in the 60s and 70s. And I think that if you got some marijuana out of Mexico, it was like 4%, 5%. That was like pretty kicker stuff.
The bee's knees.
But you're saying up to 40%?
Yeah. The top one we ever had was the Iron Chef. It was a 42.85%.
Wow.
Now, how much do you get? I mean, is it like one flower bud, or how much do you?
Well, we purchase it by different amounts, whether it's a quarter pound, half pound, or pound or more. And then in this location in the store, you can buy it anywhere. We call it deli style, basically. So if you want to buy a half a gram to try it, or if you want to buy 4 grams, or if you just got a certain dollar amount, it's pretty much whatever you want to try.
So how did you find the 42.87 percentage?
That's where the hound dog comes in. Me and him, Bubba, that's one of the reasons why I make Bubba my intake guy. Me and him are very alike, and we look for those good strains and that good feel and the things that people really want.
So you would go back to the same seller saying, hey, you got good stuff or high potent stuff before, or is it just haphazard? No, we're just going by the numbers every year.
No. Bubba, you want to take the one?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't always look for the highest numbers because to us, it's not always about like what the highest THC is. It's nice to have, and a lot of people seek after it, and that's why we also seek after it. But it's more about like the entourage effect, the terpenes in the plant, and the other cannabinoid profile.
Terpenes is a smell. I thought that was a smelling.
Yeah, terpenes. Yeah, those are the flavonoids that are found in the trichomes of the plant. They give marijuana its taste, whether it's piney, fruity, earthy, or what have you.
There's more than skunky.
Oh yeah, those are thiols actually.
Those are what?
They're called thiols. Yeah, the volatile sulfur compounds that give the pungent aroma of like cheesy, skunky, gassy.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I thought that was just
Very
well,
cool.
so we drive down the road sometimes and we smell it. And I think it's a grow house, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It could be someplace, a grow house. It's all dog stuff. What are the current trends and let's say the best sellers? Bubba, what's selling hot at Top Shelf right now? What's the hottest seller?
The hottest seller is our top shelf flower. It's the most sought after. It's what we sell the most of.
What is the attributes of it?
The attributes of top shelf flower would be like the jar appeal.
These are names?
No, like the jar appeal, like how the buds look. Like
jar appeal.
The jar appeal.
Okay, got it.
The numbers, the terpenes, the THC, and it's all like market, like deli styles, all based off price too.
Okay, pricing.
But your top shelf is always 10% that, 5% that, or how do you decide what a top
Not
shelf is?
necessarily. It's all different. It ranges depending on what we're able to get it for, indoor versus outdoor, how well it's taken care of and stuff. We actually feature a farm right now that's from the outside of Portland by the name of Stardust Cultivators. I like to give them a shout out as well. One of the best farms in Oregon as well, and we carry some of their flower, but the best way to describe it is when you look at this flower, it's the way things should be grown. It looks like it's been dipped in sugar, really beautiful hues. When you smell it, it's like you don't want to take your face out of the jar because it just draws you in, and you just can't wait you can't wait to try it because you want to know what it tastes like. It's like when you have a really good meal and you're so full and you're like, but I could do one more bite because it tastes so good. That's what a true top shelf should be. It's like, I'm already high, I'm good, I don't need any more, but I just want one more hit. That stuff was so amazing.
Do you prefer smoking it, or everybody's gummies galore now? Everybody seems to be, all of our set of people in the 60s and 70s, it's like, I'm on gummies today.
Yeah.
Wow.
My personal favorite is I'm flower. I love my old school flower joints, things like that, but I do definitely partake in the edibles.
I'm into the concentrates a lot, and I
Would that be vaping?
Like vaping, yeah. And
The concentrates.
Yeah. Vaping, there's a lot of different contraptions. They have the cartridges, or there's lots of different gadgets you can put extracts into and vaporize them and hell it that way.
Okay. Bubba, break it down for us. What are the concentrates? Because the only thing that I can remember back in my day was hash, man. Where you got hash oil.
Hash, man.
That was the stuff back then.
Bubble hash.
You
had the brick hash.
This was brick hash. In San Francisco. So tell me about what these concentrates are and what are they all about?
It's kind of similar to hash. We call it hash oil now, the extracts, and you can make it of various different methods. You can use butane, blast the buds with butane, and it knocks all the trichomes off. And then you purge that. You can use CO2. You can use propane. You do the bubble hash thing with ice water, and they take that and press that into rosin with the heat press.
Okay, why? Why are they doing this? Does it make it more THC potent?
You get a much higher percentage of THC because there's no plant matter there. You're just getting all the sticky stuff off.
And what is the high THC? Much higher than the flower?
Yeah, you can get all the way up to 100% THC with distillate.
Whoa! What happens to you?
Gram.
What's your experiences? Have you?
Straight THC is kind of just a head rush. You really feel it in your temple.
It can get paranoid.
It can be fleeting without the terpenes and other stuff.
Is there a discount when you have a medicinal card?
There is, yes.
Good question.
Medicinal is actually something that I always tell people that is definitely something worth looking into. With medical discounts, basically, we cannot charge tax on any medical.
But wait, Oregon doesn't have tax.
Well, we're still taxed on sales tax and city tax for marijuana.
You're just passing it off.
Exactly. And so with my store, we're one of the ones that we absorb the taxes. So all the prices you see are out the door prices. But with a medical card, it's essentially about 20% is about what the taxes come out to altogether.
So if you're
with a medical
gram, you're going to pay 80 cents.
Right, exactly. So if you're medical, it's always going to be cheaper for you.
So let's say you're medical for seizures or whatever you're in it. So can you only get the seizure weed, or you can choose whatever?
Absolutely. It's a full bore. It's once you have, the only thing medical does is it basically just states that you're using as medicine, so that way it's under a non-tax purchase.
This is one of my gripes. I got to say, when it first came out, when it first legalized, everybody was saying it's for the medicine because it's a great plant. It is so healthy for you in the long run. But the second it became legalized, within a year, I asked some dispensary, so what's happening with medical? Oh, forget about that. Recreational's where it's all at. We don't even think what's medical.
You know,
it was a
Doc,
means to an end.
I hear that a lot too. And being in one of the shops that kind of pride ourselves on the medical aspects of it and the things like that, we see how many things can help people, and you can't just take it once and your cure all is done. Some of these things you got to take over and over again, or it's a daily routine or something for some of these tinctures. And so being able to have that medical card that gets you that discount, I mean, if you shop in the store an average of once a month, the card pretty much pays for itself, honestly. And the medical cards have so many programs now to where whether you're a veteran or disabled and things like that, that you can actually get massive benefits on the card cost, which really helps out with that as well.
But the card has to be prescribed by a medical person, right?
So they do have medical professionals that you can almost look up a OMMP doctor is what it's called, for Oregon Medical Marijuana Patient. And there's actually doctors that'll do Zoom meetings, and it's as easy as just paying for an appointment and getting on there and getting it done through them.
Wow.
How can you control the dosing of the
big question here, Bubba. We don't know anything. If we could take a gummy and then I'd be so high and I'd be so paranoid, and then people would say, "You took a whole gummy? You're only supposed to take 1/10 of a gummy." What kind of? Wait a minute. 1/10 of a gummy?
It's always good to start small. We always say you can take more later, but you can't untake it.
Right. So that's dosing. That means a tolerance, and that's the next question.
But wait. So the gummies. Didn't I hear that the gummies, so at 3% or whatever they come out, they are not all 3% throughout because...
So in Oregon, we have 100 milligram of THC in our edibles.
You can much edible, though?
You can have in one package of edibles. So they have some that are divided into like 10 pieces or 20 pieces, or I've even seen 40 pieces, where each gummy will be like 2.5 milligrams or 5 milligrams.
Yeah.
And it's always best if you're new and getting into it to start with like one of the lowest doses available.
And it's pretty much equaled out, so you don't get
hot spots. Yeah.
Okay.
Do they still sell cookies with marijuana?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brownies?
I got brownies at the shop right now that will knock your socks off.
And they're delicious.
It's really good stuff.
They're delicious.
Just like Grandma used to make.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Hey, didn't you just read yesterday or the day before that cheese has like...
That has
opioid?
it's called crack cheese.
Crack cheese or
It's
something?
the same. It affects your brain the same way because it has raisin or resin. What is it?
I can't
On
remember
cheese.
what it was.
On the skin.
Casein or
casein.
It's one of those amino acids.
Yeah, so it can get you. It's like crack cheese,
awesome.
man. I don't know. I don't know. That's why you just I can't stop eating the cheese.
Right.
What is it? Doritos? We don't eat those things.
Yeah, so you were touching on the tolerance. How's that?
Yeah, now
what do you know about
tolerance,
that?
man. You guys have tolerance
man.
to it. We have zero tolerance, so I'm afraid to try anything.
And that's where it really comes into play, man, because, someone will ask me, for example, it's like, well, how much should I take? Like, how much do you take? Well, me, I've been doing this for so many years. I am an expensive date. I'm doing 200 to 300 milligrams, and then I got to take a break for a good few weeks so that my tolerance can go back down. I envy people who can take 5 milligrams and be completely high out of their mind. So tolerance is something that'll be different for every single person. That's why when he was saying, take the smallest amount you can, give it a while and see where you're at, because, you don't want to find yourself on that ride. You can't stop.
Okay, so that would be our biggest fear because we've just had this thing. And maybe one day if they could just take the paranoia out of it, for me, at least that's the reaction that I have on marijuana. I wasn't that way. I grew up.
Switching to a ratio or even a really good way to dose too is tinctures, because you can do simple, very tiny droplets, which are a little bit easier to dose instead of
tinctures?
gummies. Absolutely, yeah.
So that's tinctures. Some of the products you have tinctures, you have gummies, you have the cough syrups, the kind of things.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And then you got all the concentrates.
Cough syrups, yeah,
Hey,
they
the
have codeine
concentrates
in it.
Bubba, are like called, give us some of the lingo, dabs, honey. Tell us.
Dabs, honey. There's all different consistencies: sugar, honeycomb, crumble, diamonds.
Whoa. The
Shatter.
Shatter? That's right. That one looks like...
Looks like glass, pull and snap.
And you sell all these products.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And how much am I allowed to buy if I walk in today and say, okay, I want to buy 5 ounces of this, or how much can you sell me legally?
You can buy up to 2 ounces of cannabis flower, and then you could buy, we're talking edibles, you could do a pound of solid edibles. You can do 72 fluid ounces of liquid edibles like tinctures and sodas.
That all together?
Altogether, a day.
Yeah, they have it. They have it set to where you could get pretty loaded up if you want to.
Wow.
But it leads to the good variety of being able to try different things.
Cost.
I have a Keef soda that's 100 milligram soda that you could literally sip, reseal, and put back in the fridge. And I'm not even joking when I tell you it tastes exactly like RC Cola. So all those old school heads out there, give it a shot, because I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind.
Costs are low in Brookings, at least from what I recall, being shopping around here and there. And again, it's because there's no tax. Well, of course, you say you absorb it, but there is the cost. What is the bottom? What's a bud going to cost? Let's say a gram. What's your top price and your lowest price?
Lowest price we have, we start out right around $3 a gram, and that's $3
so
out the door.
cheap.
Occasionally, I can get stuff even better than that. We do always kind of try to keep on hand things that we can sell ounces for only $50 for the ounce.
Wow.
The most expensive gram I will have in the shop that we will ever have is 14. We will not go above $14 a gram.
14. So an ounce is 28 grams, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So the most expensive ounce that we have, for example, would be $3.92 for the very, very top shelf. However,
An ounce.
However, if you come in on Wednesdays, those are all dropped in half.
Wait a minute. There's a top shelf Wednesday.
I'm telling you, we
Come
call
in
we
on a
call
Wednesday.
it Wait Wednesday, and on Wait Wednesday, you come into our shop, and anything that's priced at $6 a gram and above is automatically half off for the ounce.
Okay, well, we would have to have some. Did you have ones that are primarily THC or CBG? Would we be able to shop for something that's not going to get us?
We have
So
stuff that
stoned.
would work just for you, Jacques and GiGi. Yes, absolutely.
Because I just can't. I don't want to go through that. I just want the pleasant effect of a single, like a cocktail, but not the continued high where you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you see, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing Ray Simon or something. It's like,
Right?
Do you guys know about the cyclic vomiting syndrome?
Yeah.
Well, how often do you cyclic vomiting
it's a
syndrome?
doctor term or what? Cyclic vomiting syndrome?
Yeah, so that's supposedly associated with too much weed use or too often or too more frequent in at younger age. Do you guys encounter that? And I know it possibly goes away when you actually stop smoking or taking it. Doesn't have to.
You guys are both
often.
nodding your head. You know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. We've gotten to an age to where things have gotten a lot more potent and a lot more stronger. We never used to have vaping before, like he was talking about with concentrates. An average flower will be 25 to 35%, whereas your average vaping pen is going to be 65 to 95%.
Whoa.
So we're having such a huge influx that there are some people who are having reactions to it, which causes that. So it's like vomiting, really bad stomach cramps, constant nausea feeling and stuff like that. It's unfortunate, but it is one of those things that's been happening, I have noticed. We've had a couple of customers, unfortunately, that have had to stop smoking. But it's one of those things that if you got to do it for the health, then
Right.
that's a part of it. So we're one of those people
What about
that's all for
munchies?
it.
What about the munchies? Is it always going to give you the munchies?
Oh man, that's a person to person thing. Yeah. Like I don't really, it's been so many years since I've actually gotten the munchies, but when I eat edibles, I will clear out your house.
Hours after you come down from your high, you're just suddenly getting
Absolutely.
hungry.
I could smoke pounds of weed and not get the munchies, but I eat edibles and I'm hungry.
Wow.
Now, do you get constipated with eating? So I'm asking that because
Okay.
opioids themselves cause that.
Oh.
The medication opioids.
Yeah, not the case with cannabis.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Right.
Oh. Have you seen a drop in business since other states have legalized it?
Yeah.
Not at all, really. If anything, with the other states legalizing and other people getting out there and experiencing it, they're seeing that, we got some better stuff out here. We got better prices in Oregon. True.
But can you send it? Can you mail it to other states?
It's not legal to do so.
So
yeah.
Okay.
bringing that legality, it's still against the law federally, right?
Correct. Yes.
What's your best take, guys? What's happening at the federal level? What's
I am one of those people. I could get on a soapbox for hours on that one, but in the short story of it, it's going to be a while before we see federal legality, just because there's so many hands in it and so many different ways that they're trying to write the laws and get things going. One thing that I know the states are trying to do is what they're calling an interstate compacts, to where they're trying to make it a law to where, even though it's not federally legal, but if we can deschedule it to a different schedule and allow just cross states trading and cross state selling, then that'll alleviate a lot of, oversaturation and that race to the bottom kind of deal that we've been dealing with lately. But federal legalization, I kind of don't see that happening for a while, just because of how many walls we're hitting up against
but
it.
people still used to come into Oregon. I'm sure they still do, because it's so cheap. There's no sales tax. And they send it, they mail it UPS or FedEx, and I've always heard you send it in the postal. Right? I mean, but you're saying that
is illegal. Yes. As a matter of fact, I am not even allowed to advertise on stuff that goes through the mail system, because since mail is federal, I'd be advertising federally, and that's illegal for me.
A few years ago, when that guy was sending poison through the mail, it took pressure on the mail service, the UPS, United States Postal Service, and they started opening all these bags, and they found there's like 20% of everything being sent with marijuana.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait a minute,
it gets done. It's definitely done. It's not supposed to happen.
being sent, so it's still illegal, and you don't really see it going anywhere.
Now, what's the next big thing then?
Yeah, what's coming up, Bubba? What do you think coming up? Or he's pointing over to one of you. What's the big thing in the marijuana world?
Right now I think the biggest thing and that people are more interested in is and what we're excited about is the things that terpenes and the ratios are becoming more and more popular. We're getting a lot more items out there that are more medical based and medical focused, really helping people with what they need help with, versus just, when Oregon started with this whole legal boom, it was how high can we get in the quickest way possible.
Right.
And now we've really kind of taken a step back from that and go, wait, we got a lot of weed now, so we can slow that part down and we can see what we can really start doing with this, right? And one of my favorite things in this whole world, honestly, is getting a customer who's in that has pains or ailments from another medication that they're taking, and because we're able to work with them, they're no longer having to take that medication because they found a THC product.
Sure.
And that one that's the whole reason I do that right there, is to help people out in that aspect and get people healthy in the way that they want to feel,
Yeah.
Did you hear about that new book that came out on constipation? Actually, it hasn't come out yet. It hasn't come out yet. Okay. So the next big thing, again, the marijuana, you're going to stick with what you're doing best. Do you have any events going on? I know you're very socially involved.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
What's coming up?
Anybody who's been down to any festival, me. I'm the guy down there in the big black tent making a fool of myself. We're involved in everything.
At Bruce Ellis's
absolutely
events.
Bruce Ellis and Chris Cooper.
Yeah.
Starting January 21st, we got several events, such as the summer solstice we're going to be a part of. Anybody who was a part of the Red Eye on the River Festival last year, we are going to be doing that again this year. Looks like it'll be
Birdie Finch was thinking.
Yes,
right.
August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay.
We are going to be ramping up and getting some bands hired and stuff. So that's going to be a really big one coming up. But other
Pirate Festival, those kind of things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we got. There's a couple of new festivals in the lineup right now as well. What is it? I think it's the Bootleggers, I think we have coming up right after the Solstice event. That's going to be really fun. Then, of course, the Blues Brothers Festival, Bigfoot Blues, Pirate Festival, of course, the Sky High and the Slam and Salmon, all coming up, all going to be really fun. Definitely come by and see my booth when I'm down there.
Right on. And then let's we got to tighten this up. We've only got a minute.
Give us your information. How people
where
can
do
get
people find
hold of you?
Yeah, Bubba and Richard. Where are you located? What's your address?
Oh, man, it's pretty simple. We're right on the main drag, 704 Chetco Avenue, right across the street from the Ace Hardware and the radio station.
The Cascade? Right?
Absolutely, right there in the middle. You can find us.
Come on Facebook or any other?
We are on Instagram, Brookings Top Shelf _ Brookings. world famous top shelf _Brookings on Instagram. I'm working on a Facebook page right now. We had one, but Facebook is always an interesting tool.
Right. Where do you guys see yourself? Bubba, where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years from now?
I kind of want to keep doing the inventory thing and
The intake.
Yeah, man.
I love that one. Yeah. I'm intaking.
Right? We'll be intaking soon.
No, we see ourselves growing and hopefully being a bigger store by then. So hopefully I'll be doing a little more.
What's the logo of your store? Shows.
Oh, that's Richard's uncle.
No, it looks like it is George Washington with a pipe in his mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'd love to get a giant picture, a silhouette of a George Washington handing Bigfoot a blunt, because I think that would just emphasize the whole Northwest culture.
Yeah.
And a blunt is what we used to call a joint?
Yeah, exactly. Just a big joint rolled in a cigar wrap.
Wow. What fun we have had in this studio with Richard Collins and Bubba Couch from Top Shelf, world famous Top
Absolutely.
Shelf cannabis dispensary here in Brookings, right on the main drag. You really can't miss them. Guys, it's
Very interesting.
Very
Yes,
interesting
very.
story that you've told us today and filled us in on
Yes,
so many
thank you.
aspects of it. We may come by
Absolutely.
and see you one of these days, since you're our neighbors. Right
You'll
across the street.
definitely have to stop
Right.
by. Anybody listening, mention the show, and we'll definitely give you a discount.
Well, there we go. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Thank you again for being on the Doc and Jacques Show. Gigi, what time is it? It's time for
is
Fun Time Corner. Okay, guys, please laugh at my great jokes. All right, give us a couple of
Okay,
your
I only
quotes.
have a couple. Okay, so maybe not whoever you have on your hat, but this is a quote from Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
2 of my favorite things are sitting on my front porch, smoking a pipe of sweet hemp and playing my Hohner harmonica.
Wait a minute. Who wrote that?
Abraham Lincoln.
Read it again. You got to be kidding me.
2 of my favorite things are sitting on my front porch, smoking a pipe of sweet hemp and playing my Hohner harmonica.
Are you kidding?
That is awesome.
That is Abraham Lincoln, our president, our former president.
Yeah?
Oh,
I mean, I wasn't there, but, you know, it's the internet, and the internet doesn't lie.
Absolutely. Oh.
well, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He said his winter was pretty good, too. His winter?
Fall.
Okay. Hey, my uncle named his dogs Timex and Rolex.
Ooh, why?
They're his watchdogs. Okay, there are 3 very distinct types of people in this world.
Yeah?
Folks that can do math and folks that can't do math.
I wonder where you belong.
Well, there's 3, but I only gave 2. Okay, I'm blown it. Give us some good quotes. Oh, man.
Okay, this is Thomas Jefferson. Hemp is one of the greatest and most important substances in our nation.
Whoa, 2 amazing
Right?
patriots. Yeah, okay, give us another one. These are really good.
Okay, this is Ziggy Marley.
Ziggy Marley.
Yeah, that's
Bob Marley's sister.
I want people to get over the stigma about hemp. These seeds can't make you high, but they will make you feel good.
All right, the seeds, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, gentlemen, why did the crab cross the road?
Why?
It didn't. It used the crosswalk. Or no, the sidewalk, too. Could have said sidewalk, too. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. What did the full glass say to the empty glass?
What?
You look drunk. Okay,
I
give us
don't get that. Okay, I have
fine,
one more quote. As
Yeah.
a physician, I recommend nutritious hemp seeds and oil to anyone interested in maintaining a healthy diet. Everyone will benefit when American farmers can grow this amazing crop once again.
Who is that by?
Andrew Weil.
Dr. Andrew
I
Weil,
guess
okay.
it didn't say the doc.
What did you call a bee that can't make up cannot make up its mind? What? Maybe. Okay. I can always tell when someone is lying, doctor. But then
why?
again, I can also tell when they're standing up too.
Okay.
How do you stop a bull from charging?
Ow.
Take away its credit card. Okay, last one.
No, you're done.
All right.
We're
Sorry.
at the end of our show. Sorry. With
Gentlemen,
Richard and
thank you.
Bubba.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Doc and Jacques on KCIW LP 100.7 FM in Brookings, Oregon. we hope you enjoyed our show as much as we have.
Again, we want to give a big thanks to Tom Bozak and Ray Simon for their engineering wizardry in the KCAW studio. And if Michael Gorse is out there, best to you too. Email us if you know or you are a talented, interesting person that might join us on the show. Our new email address is docandjacques@gmail.com. And stay tuned for the Tony Dorso show right now. Peace and love, everybody. Thanks again, gentlemen.
All right, peace a lot. See you.